This is Part 2, Episode 175. The universe was evolving all the time. The primal universe, however, was a small universe that was in its early evolution stage. There were many splits and tears in the space, with thread-like crystal energies flowing and repairing. Each time it repaired, it would tear open again and repeat for eternity. Primal Chaos City was the only ancient city within this entire universe. Rumble. An oval ship stopped in the air above, its cabin door opened and a large group of human silhouettes flew out. Amongst which, a green-armored Luo Feng was mixed within. He wasn't noticeable at all. 100 people flew out. A black beam of light flew over to greet them. It was a black-robed man with green scales covering his head. This man smiled malevolently. I am the emissary of Primal Chaos City. Most of you aren't here for the first time. Those familiar with the rules of Primal Chaos City can carry on. I believe you know what to do. And for those that are here for the first time, please follow me. 22 silhouettes followed the black-robed man as he led them away. These 22 were those that had gotten in through auctions or other methods and were here for the first time. And the rest of the 100 headed in their own directions, dispersing. Luo Feng gently landed in a spacious pathway. As he looked around, he noticed that the distant balconies had large amounts of warriors sitting cross-legged and training. Sector lords and undyings could be seen everywhere. However, most of them were undyings. As for the energies emanating from them, even the sector lord energies, since these were sector lords training in Primal Chaos City, they were much stronger than the normal sector lords outside. Primal Chaos City, humanity's sacred training ground. Luo Feng exclaimed. Just from the sacred training ground one could see the difference. The Goldhorn race's sacred training ground was simply a piece of land carved out from the world they lived in. Humanity's sacred training ground, however, was a primal universe specially used to hold 52 primal chaos tablets, and the leader of the city was one that far exceeded the power of the doyens in the Goldhorn race. This was humanity, a pinnacle race in the universe. Very good, this a good training place. Luo Feng looked around. I have to choose a good living spot. I'll pick somewhere close to teacher. After a while, Luo Feng picked a quiet spot about 1,000 kilometers away from his teacher's residence. Once he walked near the white entrance door, he gently placed his hand on it and it triggered the system. The color began to change to a dark gray. From then on, Luo Feng was the owner of this residence. Every room within the quarters was spacious. Even though there were rooms within, large amounts of the warriors still sat crossed-legged on the balconies. From today on, I'm going to live here for over 1,000 years. This will be my home. Luo Feng followed the staircase up and quickly reached the balcony. The balcony was close to 100 m wide, much bigger than the field he had in high school. There were random scribbles all around the balcony. These were obviously left behind by the warriors that had trained and stayed here before in history. Luo Feng believed that someday he too would leave behind his own scribbles. He sat crossed-legged, feeling the coldness of the balcony. He looked up at the skies. The primal energies revolved in the sky, tears stretching across the skies with complex engravings and threads of energies flowing about. The laws were visible and it was calming to one's soul. From today on, I will be here on this balcony for a long time. Luo Feng smiled. After returning to the first floor's living room, the service AI of the place had already prepared a hot pot of tea. He lay on the fur sofa, lifting the cup of hot tea. He gently smelled the fragrant tea and sipped. As he drank it down from his mouth, he felt the warmth spread throughout his body. After which, he began to think at an incredibly fast speed. He loved to sip tea and ponder at the same time. I now have the Beast God statue and the picture of the large sleeping Beast God. Time-Space Scribbles 3rd volume, Floating Snow, Nanshan Armaments 36 levels, Illusionary Techniques, Deities of the World, Absolute Space, Ancient Pictures, and Sky-Tearing Claw. I also have over 6 million mixed elements, and over 1 million points. Luo Feng pondered on all his possessions. He clearly planned out his training. Normally, sector lords would all begin to create their own techniques and their own weapons. Luo Feng was prepared to hit sector lord level in Primal Chaos City. Since his law comprehension now was already at a very high level, he could begin to create his own technique. Techniques were mostly separated into study and battle. The study type was basically used to aid in raising one's comprehension of the laws. The higher the comprehension, the stronger the power. The laws were akin to internal strength. The battle techniques, however, were more about the usage of these laws. When learning the same laws, but with different usages, one's strength would definitely be different. Law comprehension was the inner work, the techniques were blade work, etc. Of course, these were just examples. The golden horned beast's technique is the sky-tearing claw. The Mosha clansman uses the illusionary techniques. The earth body uses the Nanshan armament. As it slowly gets more and more ineffective, I will begin to study the Nanshan 36 levels and create a better technique for myself. As for time-space scribbles, the beast god statue and so on, these are all for my comprehension. Even the deities of the world is a strengthening technique. Law comprehension is the absolute. Hence I will spend most of my focus on it. When they reach a bottleneck level, then I will study the battle techniques. Luo Feng thought, that will be the way. After planning out his long-period stay, Luo Feng left his living quarters and headed to his teacher, Truyang Emperor's residence to visit him. The entrance to the residence was wide open. The scanning system on the doors scanned Luo Feng and confirmed that he had the right to enter, naturally not stopping him. Luo Feng sneaked into the residence and quickly reached a 10 kilometers wide and long plaza. There, close to 1,000 warriors had gathered and were respectfully sitting and listening. Ahead was a golden armored ape-man sitting cross-legged, explaining the 9 universe tablets' 4th picture. Teacher. Luo Feng thought within, not daring to disrupt his class, and he sat in the corner. Truyang noticed an additional Luo Feng in the corner as he taught, smiling before he continued on with his class. After a while. Today's class ends here. Truyang said indifferently. Thank you, teacher. The close to 1,000 warriors all bowed respectfully below. Truyang Emperor sure is powerful. I've already comprehended the 5th picture, but hearing him explain the 4th picture still gives me greater insight. Looks like I haven't fully comprehended the 4th picture. Completely comprehending it is really hard. I heard that the 1st of March pictures have a total of 108 wonders, and fully comprehending these 108 wonders is 10 to hundreds of times harder than simply finishing the 4th picture. The warriors all discussed and dispersed from the plaza. Luo Feng, however, walked up to his teacher. Junior. Junior is here. It's been a while since we've seen you. Truyang's 10 disciples there all smiled and waved at Luo Feng. Luo Feng waved back. These seniors of his were mostly official level undyings, and many of them were at official pinnacle. However, it was a pity that none of them had formally reached emperor level yet. Normally, an emperor pinnacle level person can easily ask people to help, and get the official level pinnacles to be named emperors too. Truyang had high expectations of his disciples, hence he never did such a thing. He regarded it as a disgrace. Luo Feng, follow me. Truyang said. Yes, teacher. Luo Feng said respectfully. My seniors, I will formally greet you all later. Luo Feng bid goodbye to them and followed Truyang, arriving in his quiet yard. This yard was a few kilometers wide and long. It was simply a grassland. Truyang sat cross-legged within casually and said, sit. Luo Feng obediently complied. Have you completed the highest point mission? Truyang smiled. Luo Feng nodded. Tell me about it, including the final evaluation, etc. Truyang said. Yes. Luo Feng said respectfully, the 4th level mission was. He explained in detail about the points he got, evaluation, etc., not hiding any details about it at all. Truyang was displeased as he heard the story. This group of idiots, are they really expecting a son to lock his father up in jail? Will they only be satisfied that way? Luo Feng was stunned. His teacher was scolding them as idiots. If one doesn't even protect his loved ones, then what's the point in training? Truyang glanced at Luo Feng. Luo Feng, stick to your beliefs, don't be poisoned by those punks. Our upper echelon of the virtual universe company has indeed become very rigid. Do they wish for all the warriors to simply be their pawns? HMPH, the strong are strong, because they are independently strong. And those upper echelon, they only show themselves once in a while. Luo Feng blinked at his teacher. Ha ha, why, are you shocked? Tru Yang laughed, exclaiming, your teacher has a bad temper. Back then, I had kicked up such a ruckus that they didn't have any choice but to toss me into Primal Chaos City, not giving me any authority or status. However, as I am hidden here, I don't have to take their orders. Unless it's truly a grave matter, otherwise I don't have to bother with them. Luo Feng laughed. His teacher had once kicked up a ruckus. Regarding his matters, he knew very little. How long are you prepared to stay in Primal Chaos City this time? Tru Yang asked. Until Sector Lord level. Luo Feng said. Are you giving up the other missions? Tru Yang was shocked. During Domain Lord level, the company would occasionally send missions. Luo Feng had currently only completed 2 of them, one giving him 200,000 points, and the other was the highest point mission, which could at most give him 2 million points. There were others to do still left. However, if he stayed in Primal Chaos City, he naturally couldn't do any more. Luo Feng nodded. Tru Yang sat crossed-legged on the grass, pondering a while. He nodded, all right. Since the highest point mission is over, the other scattered missions at Domain Lord level all only add up to so little points. You wanting to train in Primal Chaos City is good too. Since you are prepared to train to Sector Lord level, then, I've prepared a gift for you. A gift? Luo Feng was shocked. Tru Yang laughed carefree. You are my disciple, and Sector Lord is the most critical training period of time. If I don't help you now, can I still be called a teacher? Enter the virtual universe, I'll pass you a manual. Yes. Luo Feng nodded excitedly. Virtual Universe Primal Region, Luo Feng's villa. Luo Feng stood in the villa and looked up. A silhouette flew straight towards him. It was Tru Yang Emperor. In his hand, he held a 2 m long and wide large metal briefcase. It felt like a shipping container altogether. This is... Luo Feng was stunned. The normal handheld briefcases were much smaller, yet his teacher carried such a huge one. How many manuals were there within it? Come here. Tru Yang brought the briefcase straight into the living room. With a toss, bang, the huge briefcase fell on the floor of the living room. A Sector Lord needs to create his own techniques, and a Sector Lord's comprehension speed is the fastest. Hence, you will need the highest levels of technique manuals. Hence, I have exchanged for a bunch of manuals for you. Tru Yang laughed loudly, pointing at the briefcase, seemingly proud of it. Teacher, I can exchange for these manuals myself. Luo Feng had just begun to speak. Tru Yang retorted, you think your little bit of points is worth anything? You could at most exchange for some very basic manuals. You wouldn't be able to exchange for any true powerful manuals at all. Time-Space Scribbles is but an assisting guide, yet it's already worth 100 billion points. As for the true study and battle technique manuals, those with absolute top-notch power, your 1 million points is useless. Luo Feng couldn't help but choke as he heard. 1 million points is useless. For someone extremely close to becoming a knight like Tru Yang Emperor, this made total sense. Look carefully. Tru Yang walked forward and immediately opened the huge briefcase. Rumble. Its metal lock was opened and within lay many thick books. The thinner ones alone were about 20 centimeters thick, the thickest being 1 m long and wide and half a meter thick. They were completely dark gold in color and were made of metal. There were a total of 3 such metal books within. Just these 3 books took up a lot of space, the rest were scattered about within. There's a total of 106 normal techniques manuals, and 1 valuable one within. Tru Yang laughed. The 106 books are cheap, adding up to a few million points only. They are mainly to assist you, some are for study while others are for building weapons and techniques etc. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed and nodded. These 106 techniques, they seem to cover just about everything. As for this one, Tru Yang pointed to the neatly arranged 3 dark gold books. this is expensive. One set, 3 volumes. Every volume was 1 m wide and half a meter thick. How expensive is it? Luo Feng asked. 8 billion points. Tru Yang smiled, looking at Luo Feng. Luo Feng stared wide-eyed. My God. 8 billion points. This bit of wealth was enough to be an entire emperor-level undying's fortune. Of course, to the emperor pinnacle, even a normal knight, it was still something they could afford. Even so, this was still a huge gesture from Tru Yang. Luo Feng was completely stunned by the amount. An undying could use money to exchange for points, 1 mixed element for 1 point. This was akin to 8 billion mixed elements. Even for an undying, it was a huge amount. Because of Earth, Luo Feng had signed a deal with the Virtual Universe Company. However, that amount was split up and was to be distributed at 3 occasions. Before undying, he would get less than 100 million mixed elements. Only after becoming undying would he get close to 50 billion mixed elements. However, the Golden Horned Beast was extremely hard to break through to undying. Who knew when that would ever happen? Ha, just from this 8 billion points, I spent a good half of my points. Tru Yang laughed. He didn't hide anything from Luo Feng. When I want to exchange for something in the future, I probably have to use my money. Teacher. Luo Feng said, I cannot accept this. Back when his teacher had persuaded him to get the time-space scribbles, he had told him that even he couldn't afford the entire set, and that was worth 100 billion points. It was obvious that this 8 billion was a huge sum to him too. And in truth, Tru Yang naturally didn't have many points. However, just like Luo Feng, who had the Luo Ku holy water and close to 10,000 blood river crystals along with other treasures, Tru Yang Emperor, as an absolute warrior, naturally had many treasures. The worth of his wealth was much more than a normal emperor-level undying. If he was willing to sell some treasures, he'd probably have a lot more. Your teacher is now at the final step before becoming a knight. The materialistic things are useless now. Tru Yang shook his head. I haven't spent much over 1 trillion years, and it's been easy for me to nurture your seniors. Your seniors, however, I've never spent more than 1 billion. You are the most. Luo Feng looked curiously at him. Why? I've seen your blade work, your control of the Nanshan armament, and your claw techniques. Tru Yang emphasized. I discovered, whether you are conscious of it or not, your fusion of the gold and space laws are extremely ingenious. Hence, I know this valuable manual will fit you well. Luo Feng couldn't even force a smile. Fusion was ingenious. He had been studying the beast god presence, and it was a pinnacle-level fusion of the gold and space laws. After having a grasp of the beast god presence, he often sought help from his teacher. During his demonstrations, he would display some of its flavor. This manual will definitely fit you well. The moment you have some progress in it, your power will catch up to mine. Tru Yang's eyes were filled with anticipation. If you can catch up to me, even against normal knights, you won't die. Work hard. Tru Yang rubbed Luo Feng's head, laughing loudly, after which he vanished. Luo Feng looked at the briefcase full of 106 normal manuals, and 1 valuable one, for a total of a few hundred books. He felt extremely grateful within. Teacher. Your student will always remember this debt. Luo Feng decided to return the favor the moment he achieved anything. Over a long period of time, Tru Yang's family had all long died, hence his treatment of his students was like a parent to his children. A teacher like that was very special, and now he even gave Luo Feng these valuable manuals. One had to know that if Luo Feng were to fall along the way, everything would simply be wasted, yet he still did such a thing. This was also why his students were all very united, no one wanting to ever hurt their teacher. 107 manuals, a total of 582 books, Luo Feng swiftly brought all of them over to his study. 106 normal manuals, buying them through the treasure trove actually requires close to 6 million points. Luo Feng was shocked. Even though these manuals were normal according to Tru Yang, in truth every one of them was still stronger than illusionary techniques. This valuable manual. Luo Feng looked at the top 3 dark gold metal books. Their covers only had the words 1, 2 and 3 on them, representing each volume. They didn't have any other information. Luo Feng gently flipped open the first volume. Its details were: through the primal universe's evolution, over 1 trillion races have been produced. There have been many mysterious life forms, of which there's the powerful beast god. This beast god is a super being developed by the universe itself. Its body is a fusion of the space and gold laws. A slash or whip of its tail, or even a head, but all has the universe laws melded within. Wu Shiluo Duo has studied the beast god's 7 techniques to create the Nanshan 7 forms. Beast god 7 techniques, Nanshan 7 forms. Completing the 1st of March levels, 1 will be invincible amongst anything below the knights. Completing the 1st of June levels, 1 will be invincible amongst anything below the Universe Masters. Completing the 7th level, 1 can become like a true beast god, akin to a true Universe Master, standing at the pinnacle of the universe. Creating the Beast God 7 techniques, Nanshan 7 forms, he only finished the 1st of June levels. The 7 is purely imagination, it isn't truly perfect. To become a true beast god, as powerful and invincible as it is extremely hard and difficult. He hoped that the later generations of the Goldhorn race would be able to perfect it and complete it. Luo Feng was stunned from the book. Shiluo Duo, the greatest being of the Goldhorn race. Completing the 6th level meant 1 would be invincible amongst anything below the Universe Masters. 7th level was akin to a Universe Master. Such a terrifying manual. Is it not as expensive as time-space scribbles? No. Luo Feng was shocked. Quickly flipping through the 2nd and 3rd volume, he couldn't help but feel a sense of regret. His guess was right. These 3 manuals were simply the 1st of March levels of the Nanshan 7 forms. So it's only the beginning. Yet, finishing these 3 and 1 would be invincible amongst anything below the knights, and these alone were worth 8 billion points. Luo Feng exclaimed. He now truly understood just how powerful the great Shiluo Duo was. It was no wonder that he alone could support the entire Goldhorn race. He had reached a level where he was invincible amongst anything below a Universe Master. Universe Master. So Void Gold Master, Primal Chaos City Leader and the Beast God, they are all the same level. Luo Feng pondered. After looking through the Beast God 7 techniques again, Luo Feng got a rough idea of how, above the Universe Knights, there was an even higher level. Like the powerful Void Gold Master, Beast God, and Primal Chaos City Leader, it was obvious that they were much more powerful than the Knights. Even Shiluo Duo, he supported the entire race. So it's that way. Luo Feng muttered. Undying, Universe Knights, Universe Master. As a middle-level race, the Goldhorn race only had Shiluo Duo back then as their leader, not requiring anybody else to protect them. And he had trained till the 6th level of the Beast God 7 techniques back then. It meant that he was invincible amongst anything below Universe Master. He had true power. And the Universe Master, even amongst a pinnacle race like humanity, was still a pinnacle being. According to the information, Luo Feng began to get a grasp of the power levels of the absolute warriors of the universe. My teacher True Yang Emperor is already considered an absolute warrior, and the knights are the next level. Universe Masters, however, they are the true rulers of the universe. Even at Shiluo Duo's level, he was already a ruler. Luo Feng was extremely excited within, after which he began to read through the thick and valuable manual. The 1st of March volumes of the Beast God 7 techniques. Luo Feng simply read through everything at one go. Even though he didn't fully understand a lot of things, he still learnt a lot. It actually melded the laws. Luo Feng was shocked within. After reading through the entire volume, he understood the theory behind the Beast God 7 techniques. The universe had gold, wood, water, fire, ground, wind, thunder, light, space and time. These 10 laws, according to Shiluo Duo's manual, said that when the universe was first evolving, there were only 2 great laws, of which one split into gold, wood, water, fire, ground and space, while the other became wind, thunder, light and time. Hence 2 sects were formed. The space sect with space as the main and the 4 under it, gold, wood, water, fire and wood. The time sect with time as the main and thunder, wind and light under it. Completely comprehending the space law would make one a space night. Completely comprehending the time law would make one a time night. When one comprehended both these laws, truly grasping time and space, with the unbelievable power to warp time and space, that was a universe master. Even amongst the trillions of races and countless warriors, there had never been one that had completely melded the gold, wood, water, fire, wood and space laws into one, returning it to one of the original two great laws. And there hadn't been one that had melded thunder, wind, light and time back into the other. And through the passages of time, the countless warriors have discovered. Simply melding gold and space, or wood and space, or water and space, or fire and space, or wood and space, these alone were extremely difficult. Simply melding two laws, as such would already make one an absolute warrior. Melding gold and space, once it reached a level of perfection, that alone was enough to become a universe master. The Beast God 7 techniques Shiluo Duo created were very strange too. The first level was a partial fusion between gold and space. The second level. The sixth level was a complete fusion between gold and space, forming a fusion law. Shiluo Duo had reached this level back then, and he already was invincible between anything below universe master. However, Shiluo Duo knew too, that the universe could produce something as powerful as the Beast God with universe master level strength, and it was an embodiment of the fusion between gold and space laws itself. Every attack was naturally infused with the fusion of laws, even the statue of it was a fusion of the laws. Hence he strongly believed, the fusion of space and gold could match a universe master. The Beast God 7 techniques he created should have a seventh level. The seventh level should allow one to become a true Beast God, akin to a universe master. Of course, these were simply his thought process, and had yet to be completed, hence even though it was called the Beast God 7 techniques, in truth it could only be trained till the sixth. Comprehending the space law completely and becoming a knight, that alone is already incredibly hard, many absolute geniuses barely become a knight. Luo Feng exclaimed. And according to Shiluo Duo, melding space and gold is thousands to tens of thousands of times harder than simply comprehending space. This path was hard. However, at least Luo Feng got a clear path to follow now. Beast God path. I have the Beast God 7 techniques, from Shiluo Duo as guidance and the Beast God statue to refer to. Luo Feng's mind flashed, he suddenly thought of something, sending his consciousness into his internal world. Within his internal world, the spacious grassland. Black-clothed Luo Feng was carrying the Beast God statue, beside him was a continuous black mountain range like golden horned beast lying on the ground. Its large river-like eyes were staring at the little Beast God statue too. This statue was the one he had gotten from Blood River World back then luckily. In terms of pressure, it couldn't compare to the huge Beast God statue in the Gold Horn Race Beast God Canyon. However, it was much more condensed, comparable to a true Beast God. Howl, the golden horned beast suddenly raised its head and howled, it was extremely happy and excited within. I know, I got it. Black-clothed Luo Feng's eyes gleamed, he said excitedly, I finally know why this statue gives off a special presence and pressure. It's because this statue itself is a fusion of the laws. A true Beast God's every move is infused with the fusion laws, and this statue was from where it lived back then within the Blood River world. Who knows how this statue was created, however it's akin to a true Beast God. As it's a fusion of the laws, even if this statue cannot be considered a full fusion, it is still infused with the fusion laws within. It's no wonder. No wonder that while seeking the Beast God presence, and constantly imitating it, he was able to grasp the pressure from the Beast God presence. So he was actually looking at the fusion of laws over and over, imitating it. Ha ha. I have this Beast God statue, it is a body of the fusion laws itself. And now I have the Beast God 7 techniques. It's extremely valuable, and is the Gold Horn Race's most valuable manual. Black-clothed Luo Feng's eyes gleamed with madness. Even though this path is much harder than the path of becoming a knight. However, with these two to assist me, I will definitely have high achievements. The Beast God statue and the Beast God 7 techniques, these could be considered miraculous encounters. And simply having these wasn't enough, one still needed talent, hard work, luck and many more factors. After all, standing at the pinnacle of the universe was simply too hard. Even though the beast god statue was special, it was condensed and hidden. The Undyings in Blood River World couldn't even understand it, and the golden horned beast is a favored child of the gold laws itself. It had a natural talent for the space laws too. Like its natural ability swallow, that was a space technique as well. And the golden horned beast had the strongest bloodline with gold and space laws. The beast god was a fusion of gold and space. The two had a special connection, otherwise it wouldn't be that easy for the golden horned beast to absorb that many blood river crystals. Other life forms found it hard to simply absorb 10 crystals, but the beast could absorb a 100, and it was still only because its willpower couldn't take more, otherwise it could absorb even more. It could be seen that the golden horned beast and the beast god did have some relationship. Hence, he could faintly feel the fusion laws within the condensed beast god statue. If it weren't for the golden horned beast, other life forms would have to reach an extremely high level of fusion between the two laws before being able to sense anything special about the statue. Primal Chaos City, Tru Yang's residence. Teacher. Luo Feng bowed with gratitude. Sit. Tru Yang sat cross-legged in the grass. Yes. Luo Feng sat beside him. Have you finished the manual? Tru Yang laughed. Luo Feng nodded. How is it, does it fit you well? Tru Yang's eyes were filled with anticipation. No one would know before beginning the training whether something would fit well, however his vision had always been accurate. Having frequently seen Luo Feng demonstrated his techniques, he discovered that Luo Feng was naturally talented in this field. Hence he bought the manual for him. Tru Yang's entire fortune wasn't even enough to buy 1/10 of the entire 7 volumes. Buying the 1st of March was still acceptable to him. It suits me well. Luo Feng said. That's good, ha, if it didn't, I would feel the pinch. Tru Yang laughed. However, back then I had planned to stay for a few hundred years in Primal Chaos City, and melding the laws is obviously a lot harder. I may have to stay for a few thousand years now. Luo Feng said. When he told his family that he would be leaving for over 1,000 years, that was still actual universe time, and the time flow between the two universes was different. 1,000 years in the actual universe was only a little more than 300 years in the primal universe. Hence, a few hundred years in Primal Chaos City seemed okay. But, from the looks of it now, it was obviously not enough. No rush at all, the basics are the most fundamental. Tru Yang said. Luo Feng nodded, filled with confidence within. Walking the true pinnacle path of the beast god, he was filled with confidence. Ah, right. Tru Yang said, Luo Feng, I know you are very strong, much stronger than what you show the virtual universe company. Luo Feng laughed. He frequently sought help from his teacher, naturally he showed him quite a bit of his strength. You have no need to hide your strength, you have to show it. Tru Yang emphasized. Show you heavenly talents, only then will they favor you more. And every primal region sector lord will get a sea of resources for nurture. The stronger you are, the more you'll get. If you perform very well, the moment you break through to sector lord, you will immediately be given a huge amount of resources. If you are weak, you'll get less. The strong get more. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. That was right, he was in Primal Chaos City, there was no more need to stay low profile. Part 2 end here.